In scope, out of scope. Now, scope is something that you will typically see on a charter, but usually they don't do both. Usually they just say define the scope. Why do you think I say in scope and out of scope? Why not just list what's in scope, and then we know if it's not on there, that it's out? Why not do it that way? More potential for scope creep, and why? Why do you think that's a little more dangerous? Why do you think I recommend listing what's out?
Because it's easier to identify immediately when it comes up.
Exactly. It's a lot more specific. So this way, if we said, hey, international, out of scope. Marketing, out of scope. Anything that deals with e-commerce, out of scope. So when those things come up, it's very easy to identify it and to shut it down. And we've already had that conversation up front. What also I tend to find is when you list what's in and what's out, invariably there's some percentage of the group that just assumed that, oh, because we said we're doing vendor analysis, oh, well, the RFPs go to the vendor, so I just assumed that was part of vendor analysis. So that out-of-scope list, it helps you refine what do we really mean by the items that we listed when we talk about in scope. Okay? I really have also found over time that clarifying what's out of scope really gives you more specificity in terms of what's really in scope. It shows you the boundaries. It shows you what's out of the boundaries. When I was getting married about 4 years ago, I was interviewing wedding planners, and that's, I guess, the new thing. I don't know how anybody got married before. Everybody's wedding planner now. And so I was interviewing these wedding planners, and I'm all excited, and I'm meeting them at coffee shops, and I've got my list of questions, and my first question was, tell me what you would do for me. What's your list of services? What can you do for me? Now, if I'm the bride, what do you think they said?
Everything.
Everything. Oh, my goodness, sweetie. Oh, you're so pretty. You're the bride. I just want you to sit there on a lily pad. You're not going to do a thing. Okay? Now, do you really think they did everything? No. I realized I was asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, what will you do? What's the better question?
What won't you do?
What won't you do? What is out of scope? And believe it or not, I started asking that question. They had a long list, okay? They're like, well, I mean, I'm not going to be addressing your invitations. I'm not going to be picking people up at the airport. I'm not going to be attending your shower. Long list of what they wouldn't do. And really what I found out was that was the better list. That really showed me where the boundaries were. So if you're not talking about what's in scope for the team and what's out of scope, have that conversation. I promise you, you have that conversation with your teams, you'll see there were some disconnects. There will be some things that are listed on out of scope that they thought were in scope, and possibly vice versa.